Welcome to Roxtalks, the podcast that helps network marketers grow their business on social media. I'm Roxanne Wilson, your host, and today is a follow-up from last week's episode. You were letting go to grow, and hopefully you started that process of letting go of those things so you can dive in and grow in whatever category you want. Of course, we talk about social media, so growing in and embracing the ideas of growing your network marketing business on social media and getting rid of those old beliefs, those old things that are holding you back. But today I want to follow up on that because you've let go. Where's the growth? I mean, it was a week. What's going on, Roxanne? What's happening? We're going to break that down and really talk about the next steps that you need to take when it comes to getting to that growth. So let's dive in. Ah, yes, you did it. You listened to last week's podcast, you embraced it, and you said, I need to let go. So you decided, I'm letting go. Tawanda, awesome. Congratulations. And now what? Yeah, this is here's the thing. When you do that, like you jump and you're like, I'm jumping and it's awesome. A lot of things happen that can stunt your growth, make it a little harder to grow. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So here's the thing. First of all, congratulations to you. Congrats on saying, you know what? The old way isn't working. I'm going to let go of that old way. Example I gave to some was since Corona, since the Rones, my family and I, we've all taken up arrow gardens. Rhonda, my big sister, had this great idea of arrow garden. She sent one to all of us. My mom now has like, I don't know, 5, maybe 10 arrow gardens. She's growing a whole what do they call this? A whole I can't remember the name, but you know what I'm saying. She's growing it inside of her house. She has it all. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Rochelle, her tomatoes have been like sprouting. She has cherry tomatoes and she's about 15 or 16 of them that are just sprouting out of nowhere, which is so exciting. Rhonda's rocking she has the drink mix and she's been rocking that. Now with mine, it's been interesting, muy interesante. So when we got ours, I have savory cilantro, which I love cilantro, and oregano. So I also have one of those machines that makes your water alkaline. And when it alkalines it, the runoff water, I was told when I got my alkaline machine that was amazing for plants. And I've put it in flowers. Seems like it's fine. So I decided that the water that I was going to put in my air garden was going to be that runoff water because that's going to make it makes sense. He told me that when I got it. I'm sure he's right. He knows more about it than I do. So here we go. So my cilantro started sprouting out like, yay, cilantro, which was exciting. And savory came along as well too. Oregano, slow to the race, but it's there. And one day everything started turning brown. I mean, my cilantro that was looking amazing and I was getting to eat it looked disgusting. Like they wouldn't even put it on the counter at like a grocery store that didn't care. So we have these FaceTimes where we show our plants. And my sister Rhonda, the big one, and my mom were like, what is going on? My mom was like, you're using that alkaline water, aren't you? That runoff. And I'm like, yes. She's like, stop using that. And I'm like, no, it's good for plants. It's good for plants. And Rhonda was like, she's doing what? And then the big sister way was like, stop using that. I'm like, no. And then it just felt like I was back when I was little and they were all like ganging up on me. And I just was like, I don't want to hear it. Well, a few days go on. The plant is not looking good at all. Like she's looking sad, y'all, sad. So we're talking again and I'm like, okay, fine. I stopped using the alkaline water, the runoff water, using just regular tap water, like y'all said. Oh no, that's not enough. You have to actually clear out all of the water inside the tank. I'm like, what? I don't have time for that. B, I've set it up and it's all taped down, the plug and stuff. I don't want to undo it. It's going to be a mess. It's going to take too long. No, I'm not doing that. It's going to be too hard. And they were like, Roxanne, you could do. I'm like, no. And my mom, who is a retired professor, was like, just first do this, then that. And finally, they beat me down and I did that. Would you know that my plant has grown like bananas? Bananas. Everything's back up and wonderful. I was poisoning it. I was. Now, here's what I want to tell you about that. I thought I let go of that notion by switching just the water I was putting in initially. But here's what I didn't realize. I hadn't let go of the water that was already in there that was poisoning the plant. What does this mean for you? Just because you decided you're going to let go of maybe it was technology or that you don't have enough time or that social media is hard, whatever the thing you were hanging on to, just because you say you let go of it doesn't mean you fully let go of it because that water is still there, right? It's just like your root, they're still there. That's not to say, oh crap, Roxanne, doesn't mean I'm not going to get this done. It does, but you have to recognize the fact that it's a process. You saying you're letting go of it and deciding that from here forth, henceforth, I'm letting go of it is the first step, yes. But then you have to actually make that decision every day after, because what I know this to be is true. We get used to where we were. That was the comfortable place, right? Now, you know what got you here is not going to get you there. And you know that, but every day you have to decide that is true. Every day. Now, here's what else happens. If you made this decision, you made this change, there's some part of you that's like, I don't know if it's going to work. Okay, you did it, but I don't know if it's gonna. What happens then? Well, what happens is if that little voice is in your head and that voice is stronger than you think. And so you've got to be careful because when you're out doing things, maybe you're like doing the social media and you're like, okay, I'm rocking it. And then all of a sudden you're having it gets hard or it gets difficult or you trip. You're like, I knew this wasn't going to work. I told you. You've heard that moment like when you're with your significant other and all of a sudden he brings up something from ages ago. And you're like, wait a moment, I thought you let that go. But you didn't let it go. Same thing. You're the same way. When it comes to making a decision to do something new, did you really let go of the old thing? And if that creeps up and you're like, I knew it, you have to go stop. Hold the phone. I let you go. You've got to leave, little voice. You're not welcome here. Every day you've got to decide. Now, I am not a neuroscience scientist. I definitely follow one. I love her, Dr. Shannon Irvine. And what I've learned from her, as she coaches me, is that what you think is what becomes reality. So if you think it's not going to work, if you're like, okay, Roxanne, I'm doing the social media thing, but I don't think it's going to work. You're right. It's not going to work. You're absolutely right. It's not going to work. And don't waste your time or my time. You're correct. You are right. What you believe is true. So you have to decide to believe something different. And that takes time. And I'm not saying it in a week. I'm not saying 30 days. It's like if you're in it seriously, as Dr. Shannon Irving will tell you, it takes like 67 days. One day I'm going to get her on my podcast, by the way. She's on my list. Oh, don't you worry. And you'll see all the goodness. But I want you to realize it is a journey. So every time you trip, and you are going to trip. Can you imagine if a baby who wanted to walk and was like, I don't know if I can walk, and then starts like making a step and then falls, goes, see, I fell. I can never walk again. I fell. Can't do it. I told you I couldn't do this. Can't do it. Let's crawl for the rest of our lives. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? So why doesn't it sound ridiculous for you when you try something that you didn't know you could do and you get a little bit of the way and then you fall? Guess what? Get back up. It is letting go is a decision that you have to make every day. But here's the great thing about it. When you make that decision on the daily, every day you make that decision, guess what happens? It becomes reality. And every day that you make that decision, you're growing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit more until you are flourishing. But I want to give you the reality now so you don't get discouraged. Yeah, there'll be moments. Listen, there are moments all the time I get discouraged. And then I have to go back to my place and go, Roxanne, but what do you know is true? What do you believe is true? Do you know how you're getting there? I don't know how I'm getting to all my goals. I don't know. I don't. True story. For example, one of my goals to impact and empower 1 million network marketers to think like CEOs. How am I getting there? I don't know. 1 million is a lot. That's a lot of people. But day by day, one by one, I get there. Now, if I said, Roxanne, I don't know how you get to 1 million, see, you can't do it. See, you can't do it. I just had a launch. Did 1 million people join? As of when this is being recorded? No. If that changes, I'll let you know. Does that mean I can't do it? No, absolutely. It doesn't mean I can't do it. I am doing it. It's just smidge by smidge, bit by bit until it's like, but I have to decide on a daily basis that I am not going to get discouraged because a million people didn't walk through the door. That sound like Roxanne, obviously. Well, that's obvious for you too. If your goal is even something like if you make goals on for the month and you're like, my goal is to have 2 new business partners this month, and you don't get it. Does that mean you got to give up on that goal? No, that doesn't mean you give up on the goal. That means you look at what happened this month and you decide, what could I tweak? What should I try differently? What do I keep? What do I throw away? And let me get back on the shtick. Just like the baby who is crawling and then is going to start to walk, doesn't just quit because you fell. So I sigh. This is my nugget for you. Okay. Whatever it is, whatever you're working on right now in your social media journey or in life, and you've decided to let go of those things that are blocking you from being your wonderful self. Awesome. You have to let go of them every single day until you even forgot that they existed. That's how you know. If you no longer think about them, then guess what? Then they're officially gone. So for all of mine, I love my tech warrior, my tech goddesses. You know who you are. You've accepted my challenge of forget this. I'm not good at tech. Yeah, when you hear yourself slip up and go, I'm bad at tech. I'm learning with technology. I'm mastering technology. I know in your head you're still struggling with that technology. I know I see you, but I also see you reworking those words, reframing those words. And reframing those words each time you do that is going to help you to realize and believe that you are good at technology because you are. Just an example. Okay. There you have it. That's what I have for you. Yeah, that's what I have for you. And that's like a mixture of mindset moment, our message for today. When we come back, and tech really too. When we come back, I'm going to dive into give you a little behind the scenes about what's going on. So, at the time of recording, I am in the midst of the launch of Social Stories. We reopened the doors. Social Stories is live. The membership is, or I should say, was live. Is live as I'm recording this for 6 days. It has been a fun journey. It's interesting because you have this how it ends up. I'll tell you next week. I don't know yet, but you have these goals and these visions of what you want to accomplish, and then things just work out the way that they work out. Right? My Facebook ads my account got shut down. They don't even really know why. They got it back up. My ads weren't really doing what they were supposed to be. All of a sudden, I don't know if it's because I don't know. I just said, you know what? The stress is too much. I don't like being a stressed out person. Shut those things down. So we're just doing we are doing organic reaching with my audience, with my list. Remember that? We talk about that with my list and getting out there. Now, what's interesting about that is that my ability to connect with people has been fantastic. We've done 2 webinars or live classes, one this past Sunday and and an encore yesterday, and they were great. Now, did I make mistakes? You know that I did, right? You know that I did. Even in fact, I the whole time was showing showing my presenter's view, which had current slide and next slide. People were seeing that the entire time. Did not realize that because I thought they were seeing what I was seeing. Well, whatever. The second time around, fix that up. So you learn. I tell you this because I'm not perfect, like that, but just in case you forgot that for like a quick second, I wanted to just slap you back into reality. Not slap, but just tap you back into reality. But it's been, what I love about it is that, and what I realized after that first webinar, and I was just like, is that while I've been encouraging you to get into action during the rounds, my action has not only been getting you into action, but I've also been in action with my goals. And that has been revamping Social Stories, making it better, and really growing it. And I look around because, those big Post-its that are like huge. Hold on, get one. These. I only have one more on this page. I ordered some more yesterday. These big ones. If you're not watching the video on YouTube, you can watch it or just imagine. The big ones that are like poster boards. I've had poster boards. Do you remember poster boards when we were little? Alas, I have them all over my wall, and some of them are stacked on the others, plus my dry erase board. Just with the vision of this, and with all of the things that make it happen. And so I look and I'm like, wow. And I'm glad that I did that because I'm now realizing, Roxanne, you've done a lot. Sometimes you don't realize it, right? And I'm realizing I've done a lot. And so this is kind of the culmination of it. And what I'm seeing already is it is transforming people. It is empowering network marketers. And that makes me very happy. So I'm excited about that indeed. So anyway, I will give you results and let you know how it went overall next week. And yeah, there you go. So I want to remind you something very, very important. You know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. You're not ahead. You're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And I'm so honored that you're here with me on this journey. Have a great week. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace. And I'll see you next week for another great episode of Roxtalks. Bye.